Hello there. Great to see you again, and I hope everything is going really well in this crazy times that we're living together. So I wanted to come back to you to talk about the learnings that we've had with Will and I and Martin since the Module 4 role play that we did the other day. And I think there were some really key learnings from our side, from the outside, that we could see. I'm sure you have your own, and it would be great to hear those. So if you get a moment, just please let us know, or let Martin know, so that we can join in as well and help. Some of the learnings you took away from that workshop. So without further ado, looking at the program, just so to remind you, it's the Module 4 down here on the left in the ring, real-time simulation, facilitated mock negotiation. We tried to make it as near to real life in jazz as possible. And, you know, I think we had a kind of really interesting situation where perhaps we could have had a slightly more precise and clear outcome for both sides in this. At the same time, there was still lots of things that happened that gave us lots of insights about what we need to do when we go into a real negotiation. So without further ado, I'm going to make this short and go to that. I asked you afterwards to think about what some of the successes in the negotiation, the biggest learnings, what would you do differently next time, and what application do those learnings have in real life negotiations. So I've tried to answer those questions myself, and I'm going to put them onto the next slide. So I think preparation in every aspect. We did go through the planner. We didn't really have time to go through them exhaustively, and I think that's really important to take that time to do that, especially the thing about people. Who's in the room? Who have we got in that other room? What are they likely to ask? What's our relationship with them? I think those things are really, really important. Obviously, clearly, what you want to get away from, what you are prepared to give, when you're going to walk away. I'm working with the Spanish team at the moment on that, so it's something that's really, really important. So I think one of the things that came out was focus on how we open our negotiation is key. How we set our stall out. Negotiation in this situation is more of a pitch. You're often pitching things, and I think the idea of a pitch is to set out your stall. And that's one thing I think we could really improve from what we took away from this session. How we set up, addressing the four basic questions. Why we're here, what we're going to talk about, how we want to proceed, and what the benefits are for all of us and for the patient at the end of this. I think that's something that's really important for us to be able to set out clearly, and that does exert a certain amount of control over the proceedings if we open up and set up well. I think that's something we could really work on and establish a universal, looking forward to the next and the last module, about creating universals between us as a market access team all over Europe. I think how we open up and how we decide to set out our stall, that's something as a skill that can be universally applied in very different styles. Okay, respecting individuality and different country situations. I think clarity on roles within the team, expressing that in our team. Expressing who is doing what here, why each person is in the room, and that's externally and internally. We have an agreement about what's going to happen if this question arrives. Who's going to take it? How are we going to deal with that? What happens if I'm going over time? What happens if you think that I'm, rambling and going into creative land? Do you give me a sign? What's our internal language and our roles within the negotiation? Who's the opener? Who's the closer? Who's the tough guy? Who's the easy guy? Who's the good cop? Who's the bad cop? Whatever you want to do, those are the roles, and I think you need to be clear on those and make those clear as well. And I think one of the things that came out as skill that we need to develop, I think that's something that really, really is important. Summarise agreements so that we can keep that momentum going. One of the worst feelings in a negotiation is that it's going round and round and we're not really getting anywhere. Neither side likes that. No one enjoys that. When we summarise and we can agree that what we have agreed, that can be left aside and we can move on, that keeps the momentum going. It's a really powerful tool. Also, when people hear their arguments and agreements played back to them, it tends to make them think again and to participate more and to speak more. So summarising agreements that have been made. I think so. The main learning out of that is that I think while technically we have, and possibly even in our approach, in a win-win approach, we're kind of doing a really, really good job. I think there's great room for learning and improvement in those soft skills, those skills inside the room, those skills around opening, setting up the focus, setting up our stall, clarity on the roles between us, and summary. I think there's some really good stuff that we can work on there to make it even better than it already is. Thanks very much for this whole journey. It's really, really been stimulating for us and fascinating, and you're a great team. We love working with you. It's so great to see your engagement, your passion, your commitment. I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye now.